We often get asked, can I do the work myself? Or can I do some of the work myself on my custom home? Or maybe it's not, can you do the work yourself, but can you hire your brother or your cousin or somebody or a friend to come in and do that work? Now, as a custom home builder, I'm gonna tell you, it is very hard for us to say no. We are inherent pleasers, and the short answer is yes. Yes, you can. But let me explain some reasons why you might want to rethink that. And as a matter of fact, let me share with you a couple of stories that have happened to us recently in the past. So the first story is going to be a success story, and it's going to be a wonderful, positive story. The second story, not so much. And we're going to start with this story because I want to end on a positive note. So we had a client whose cousin had a cabinet shop, and as we were undergoing estimating and bidding, he talked about his cousin, and we hired them to come in, design, build, and install the cabinets for his house. The cousins got very behind in their schedule in their shop, and because they started getting behind, they started rushing, and as they were rushing, their quality level started to dip. And as they were installing cabinets, things were running so behind that the client ended up moving into their house 2 months behind schedule. And you may be wondering, oh, holy cow, Roger, how can cabinets affect the schedule by 2 months? Well, you've got to have cabinets installed before we can do flooring. You got to have cabinets before we can do appliances. You have to have cabinets before we can do counters, sinks, plumbing fixtures. All of those things are reliant on cabinets, and you have to have the cabinets right the first time, because it's not like a drawer of a cabinet where you can pull the drawer out and fix a drawer. It's a whole cabinet system. So we had to have that cabinet system absolutely correct before we installed countertops, before we did appliances. So what happened in this instance is not only did the client end up spending the same amount of money, not saving any money, they moved into their house 2 months late, and they were moving from out of town. So that was a very big inconvenience for them. So sadly, that happens way more often than this good story. But let me share with you this good story because it just warms my heart to think about it. We had a client who was very handy around the house. As a matter of fact, he enjoyed setting tile. And he asked if he could set the tile in his master shower. And of course we said yes. And what we did to do that is months in advance we said, here are the 2 weeks that you're gonna have to set tile in your shower. And then we waterproofed his shower, we got the shower properly inspected, we did all of the plumbing and set him up for success. So he showed up when it was the right time, installed the tile. In 2 weeks, he had it completely done. To this day, I still think about when he brought his wife. I mean, just like you see in the TV shows, he covered her eyes and did the big reveal, and there were literally tears in his eyes as he showed off the work that he did in this beautiful master shower for his wife. I have tried to replicate that moment so many times over the years as we have let clients do their own work in their house. But more often than this, the not so much happens. So what we've learned over the years is you really have to have conversations with your builders and have clearly defined expectations. And I would even say define what you're going to do, the scope of work, and make it very small, and understand what happens if yourself or your cousin or your friend gets behind, or quality or materials get delayed. Who's responsible for that? You don't know until you talk about it, and those are very important things. So at the end of the day, I can't tell you how introducing another team member into our professional building team is going to turn out. What I think you should do is hire a good builder and let your builder do what your builder does, build. I have spent years honing a team that works well together. I told you that my cabinet installer drives my schedule. He is constantly calling me up and asking when he can install cabinets. My painter knows exactly the details that I want to have when he's painting the walls, so it looks amazing. All of my trades have been handpicked and trained by me to do the very best job on your house in a timely, cost-efficient way. Let your builder do what your builder does. Build. But if you want to do a certain part of your house, let's talk about it. It's worth a discussion.